Hi Michelle, I've had a look at the file that you sent me through and I still can't work out what's actually going wrong. I've just created this just to give you a bit of a heads up to a couple of things that you might want to look at. So I think what you're talking about, or what the problem is this: you've got this shadowing here. So when you're actually using the masking tool over here, or the masking layer, what that does is if you paint with this using a grey brush, you'll get an opacity effect. So at the moment you can see that I'm in the brush tool here and I've selected black as the default colour, and now if I start painting it will actually get rid of it. Now if I swap this around, press the X key on your keyboard, now you've got white, I can paint it back in and it's all back there again. And you can see over here on the thumbnail what you've painted in and what you've actually painted out. So let me press X again and I've got the black, and what I'm actually doing is I'm not painting on the picture, I'm actually painting a mask on this layer mask here. So now I can click over here and paint it off. Now up here you can set the hardness of your edge. So if I have a really hard edge, you can see now that what it's doing, it's giving me a really sharp edge. And you can either change the hardness to a really soft or a really hard brush. When you're doing blending, you probably want to use a hard brush for like the absolute outer edges that you know you don't want. So you can see here I'm just quickly going around that. And then as you start to get closer in, you can then start to reduce the size of your brush, and the square bracket on your keyboard will reduce it in, and you can actually then start to change the softness. So let's just soften it up a bit, and you can see I'm getting a nice blending edge there, and you can see how much I've increased the view of what I'm doing. And you can see I've got a beautiful edge there that blends in very nicely. Now if this colour, for instance, so what can affect this is it can be affected by the opacity here. So if I reduce that opacity down, I'm just going to increase the size of the brush so you can see what's going on. And you can see now as I'm clicking, it's only just using an opacity to get rid of the stuff, and I've got to actually go over it quite a lot to get the edge I want, which is great again when you're wanting a nice soft edge. Alternatively, if this is grey instead, then what you're doing is you're actually painting in grey on the mask here. Oops. I'll just rub it in. I'll put it back. Now let's start again, and you can see that it's not actually rubbing it out at all, it's actually putting it back. Let's just increase your opacity here, and obviously it's not doing what I want it to do. So best setting here is to have this in black, X on your keyboard, or sorry, D on your keyboard, do it in black and white, then paint with the black to get rid of it. I hope this helps. Bye.